So the Carolina Panthers go out and they draft a running back. We have a running back off the board. It is Jonathan Brooks, who is the guy who is going to be drafted, and people are going to talk about this for sure, of like, for the Carolina Panthers, okay, you just paid Miles Sanders this money, didn't work out. They valued a running back position, although, new head coach, of course, but still, this is something that they want to address. It is a position of need, even though they do have Chuba Hubbard, who's pretty good. But I think what's interesting about this, so obviously, a lot of people are going to say, well, you should never spend a second-round pick on a run. Why are you drafting a running back? Running backs are not very valuable. You have so many positions of need. Why are you going out and doing this? The one thing I'll say is that, I'm not someone who always says don't draft the running back very high. Try to kind of nickel and dime your way into a good running back room, which can happen. That's the way I typically view that position. I also always say that every rule goes out the window when you're trying to develop a young quarterback. And they got a receiver. They're trying to get weapons to help out Bryce Young. So I actually understand the logic. And I'm going to say here, you know what? I'm going to defend this pick. Look at me defending a running back pick. I like this pick. Listen, the biggest concerns of Brooks are not tape. We're going to watch the tape. The tape is awesome. The criticisms and the concerns you have are the fact that he's coming off a torn ACL. And, doesn't have the highest snap count either, which that itself, this not highest snap count, isn't actually a terrible thing for a running back, although there is just some projection. But this tape is so good. I'm betting on Jonathan Brooks to succeed. I don't hate drafting him here for Carolina. I think that's not a bet. They're kind of in a situation where, again, people are going to criticize it all to hell and say, you have so many needs. What are you doing? Again, I think that number one goal, see what you have in Bryce Young. This will help you do it. Let's talk about what Brooks can bring to Carolina. Let's start off with this play. What's going to happen here is he's running a route on this one. He's going to start off with running a play action. It's going to be almost even a little fake as though he's blocking, and then he's going to run a route. That's the way this play is supposed to work for Brooks. Well, when it begins, you see the play action. He again sidesteps the pass rusher and then makes the catch. So far, so good. Just executing the play properly, but nothing too fancy at this point, right? Here is where the fanciness is going to come in, I guess you could say, because you see that there is a Kansas player who could come in and make a tackle, but this is where Brooks can do one of the many things that he is capable of doing. Watch him sidestep that Kansas City player and is able to get past him really well. So, again, he definitely has the capability of making guys miss. That's one of his best attributes. Another one of his best attributes is how well he's able to accelerate. Watch him kind of blow by everyone and is able to get all the way up past the 45-yard line. Again, the kind of the shiftiness to make guys miss with that explosive acceleration is what makes him so impressive, and it's why his tape is potentially best in the class, right? Coming off the torn ACL and doesn't have the highest snap count, so that's what's going to kind of hurt him a little bit, but the tape is incredible. A play like this, it's going to be a rush to the top of the screen. That's the way this play is designed to work. Okay, well, let's see what happens when it begins. Brooks is going to eventually take the handoff. He runs up in that direction. It's a well-blocked play. They're able to get to this point where the closest unblocked man is now in position to try and make a tackle. And for a running back, there is a lot of value in getting, having the ability to make a safety miss or having the ability to make someone who's further down the field miss, because that can turn, 15-yard gains into touchdowns, right? Here, though, what I think is really interesting with Brooks is there's even more value in making guys miss when you don't have a lot of room. Watch him be able to just do that slight move, and he's able to get past that player. Now, there's a couple other Kansas players who are going to try and run over and make a tackle on him. But I just wanted to pause it here before we even get to that to talk about the ability that he can, way he can kind of make a guy miss in a phone booth is really good and really impressive. And that's something that's definitely a very, very big positive aspect of his game. As you see, he accelerates past everybody for a bit, is going to eventually get ran down, but still a very good play by Brooks to get to the 10-yard line. I don't know. Maybe you could say there's another guy who's faster who could have gotten a touchdown, but they wouldn't have been in position to do it anyway and get to the 10-yard line because they wouldn't have made the first guy miss the way Brooks did. Again, stuff like this, another example of kind of just similar to what we're talking about. Brooks is going to eventually get the handoff right here. You see that there is a window, but once again, a Kansas City player aggressively running down, trying to make a tackle. And once again, you're going to see it doesn't really go particularly well against Brooks right here. So, listen, making guys miss really matters, right? And I think that the dilemma sometimes you have with these things is like, well, how well is it going to work against an NFL player? You know, like, sure, it works in college, but NFL guys are better at tackling. I think it's fair to say that, like, yeah, there probably will be less missed tackles once you get to the NFL level. But at the end of the day, if you can't make guys miss in college, you're not going to be able to make guys miss at the NFL level. So the fact that he can, do this, it's the first pass test, and you assume he will be able to get other guys to, make other guys miss at certain points at least. And again, other stuff is like, listen, there's a lot more to being a running back than just making guys miss. And a play like this is an interesting example where it's going to essentially be a run just straight up the gut. Watch how when this begins, you see, ball is handed off towards Brooks. There is a window right up the middle, and watch what he's able to do here. Watch this just explosive acceleration to get through that gap, and this time no one's going to catch him. He does get a touchdown on that play. Can't let it play for forever because copyright and all that good stuff, but really good play by Brooks to be able to pull this off. Again, plenty of guys would have probably gotten some yards on that play, and that's certainly one that I think a lot of people will look at and say, well, the offensive line did their job. He just ran and got the touchdown, whatever. Well, part of why the offensive line did their job was because they only had to do it for a little bit of time because Brooks was able to accelerate so well and get through that gap so quickly. And then he also just does stuff like this where you see quarterback flips the ball to him, and you might be saying, okay, here we go. Yet another crazy juke move. No, not doing that. He is going to get tackled here. Showing this play for kind of a different reason. Watch how he just runs forward and is able to sometimes say, you know what? Hey, there's 8 yards on this play. I'm getting those 8 yards, right? Which there's real value in that as well. Like not making a move on that one, kind of just accepting what the play is and being able to still get as many yards as possible instead of trying to juke, turn things back to the inside and only get 2 yards on a play. He'll get the yards if that's available. So again, the tape is fantastic. The injury and the snap count is what it is. Like that's gonna bother some people more than it's gonna bother other people. But like the tape is absolutely fantastic and definitely, if you're a fan of the team that just drafted him, you have to feel pretty good about it. So, those are my thoughts on Jonathan Brooks as a player. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button or just click on the channel itself. I will be covering every little detail about this draft, so, if there's anything you're interested in, I'm sure I have a video about it. Make sure you check that out. Also, if you like movies, make sure you check out my movie channel. The link is in the description for that. Have a lot of fun stuff on there, some movie reviews, some tier lists, stuff like that. And also, if you want to just hear more of my general thoughts, follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Link is in the description for that as well. And once again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.